Welcome everybody to the NXTeam review of Survivor Series 2019. I'm your host, the Rated R reviewer, Stefan Osborne, joined tonight by the Simple Man, Noah Foster, the Duchess, Cindy G, the Birdman of Boston, Owen Finch, and the Cleaver, Colin Andrew. How's it going, guys?
Awesome.
Excellent.
Yes, as a group, please, because we're going to have a lot to say, and I want to save some time. So let's get right into it. We're at the pre-show, and we get 3 matches. They actually announced to us that we're going to get all 3 of these. They've added 2 of these to the card. So the first one is the Tag Team Battle Royale, and I can't even tell you all the teams. It's like all the other teams that aren't already doing shit on the show, they're in it. And it's brand versus brand versus brand. So the last team in the ring is the winner, and their brand gets a point. And if one member of a tag team gets thrown over the top rope, they're both eliminated, blah, blah, blah. They gave us another match. We went into this show with 5 matches to determine brand supremacy. And that is just bad math when you're dividing shit by 3. Because you're saying you could tie it 2-2 and 1. One brand could get 3. The other 2 could have 1 apiece, or maybe 2 and 0. And then that makes one brand look really fucking shitty. I mean, there's all kinds of ways you can go. But if you have 7 matches, you can end the show, or at least in this case, the show. You can end the show with 2 and 2 and 2 and have the very last match be the point that breaks, this. Anyway, those are my thoughts. And thank God at least they gave us 2 of something. Because it was that, and it was a Cruiserweight Championship match. And I'm like, we should be seeing this anyway. If we didn't see it on TakeOver, we should be seeing it on this show. Because what the hell else is Leo Rush doing right now? And he's facing Akira Tozawa and Kalisto in a triple threat. Again, brand versus brand versus brand. And we are going to get one of the matches that we were already told about. The Tag Team Champions match, the triple threat. New Day versus Undisputed Era versus the War Raiders / Viking Experience. Whatever you want to call them. And that's your pre-show. Let's start with the Tag Team Battle Royal. I figured at the very least they'd give it to the Street Profits, because these guys are starting to catch a little fire on Raw, and they're extremely entertaining. And if they don't get behind these guys now, they don't know what they're doing. Let's start with Noah. What do you think about this opening match?
Oh, me?
I'll kick it off, guys. Okay, so...
Oh, Noah, sorry.
Here's the thing. All right, fine. Tag team wrestling, Vince has made irrelevant in WWE's so-called main rosters. I do agree, though, based on the amount of teams involved. If anyone had the most amount of my thought going in, it would be the Street Profits. Before, I thought they were just going to become Primetime 2.0, advertising what you can buy on WWEshop.com or hype crap from backstage. Now they're showcasing them in the ring for their talent, and they're putting over our phrase, "We want the smoke." I am so white, I still don't understand that shit. But anyway, they did not win, so... It was okay. I am kind of happy that my guy, Bobby Roode, yes, fuck the name change, Robert Roode. I'm glad that he and Dolph won, even though it's not going to lead or anything. But overall, it was your typical half person gets eliminated, that team's gone, battle royale. This could have been a SmackDown opener and still probably got more buzz. It was meh.
Yeah, I agree. It was fairly meh. It was just your basic battle royal. Cindy, what did you think about the match?
Okay, so before I go into my thoughts, so for those of you who's in the Tag Team Battle Royal, for representing NXT has the Forgotten Sons, Imperium, Breezango, and yeah, pretty much that's it. And for Raw, you have is Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. I know. OCs, and let's see, I'm looking through on Wikipedia for those listings.
Wiggy.
Yeah, and then SmackDown Lucha House Party. You have Heavy Machinery,
Ziggler and Rude.
And I think I missed one more, but who cares? But anyway, with the tag team match,
probably a Raw
team. I didn't even get to that much because I was like in the middle of making lunch, making my drink, while I was seeing what's going on with the action. My original pick was Imperium because I believe that with this whole exposing more of the NXT UK brand, why not bringing Imperium just representing NXT, especially winning the crowd over, especially pretty much they are very familiar with Marcel Bartel and Fabian Eichner, but sucks that they got eliminated. Oh well, but it was a pretty decent battle royal, but not too much of it. I mean, all that matters is that I'm happy that Rude and Ziggler won for SmackDown. That's all that matters because, like, as I said before, I really don't want Monday Night Raw to win this pay-per-view at all together. And I'm happy that they include the pre-show as part of the point system compared to last year's Survivor Series that they did not include the kickoff pre-show as counted as points. But that's all I can say.
The actual Owen, what did you think about the match?
Yeah, I thought the match was decent. So, if you kept track of my predictions league, I was very biased towards NXT because I wasn't happy with the main roster for reasons I've already explained on my channel and such.
In other words, I picked with NXT for everything.
Yeah, everything. I was pro NXT. I was pro NXT on this show. But I thought the Battle Royal was decent. I don't like the rule where, like, if one of your partners gets out, then you're both out. I feel like they should do it better than that. But I understood it for this thing because, you know, obviously they don't have time. The match would probably be like the whole pre-show if they did it that way. I was surprised the Forgotten Sons got out first. That made no sense to me. I was very disappointed Imperium didn't win. I didn't like the spot that they did where, like, Breezango, like, saved themselves from elimination just to get eliminated anyways. It was very worrying to see that NXT got out first. I was like, ooh, I hope that's not a sign of things to come because I was worried NXT also was going to get smoked on this show because we know how Vince feels about creations that aren't his. But Rude and Ziggler winning, I guess I gotta say I'm a fan, but if you ever watch my channel, I'm not the biggest Dolph Ziggler fan either, so really didn't care for that. But at least Bobby Roode is the one that did the elimination, so I'm gonna let slide. But I thought it was a decent battle royal.
Colin?
I thought it was decent. I wasn't happy with the end because I was hoping like an actual tag team, like a real tag team would win because to me, there's still not a real tag team. It's just two single dudes that have nothing to fuck to do thrown together. So, you know, much rather would have seen an actual tag team that could have profited from it, like the Street Profits. And Noah, by the way, we want the smoke thing means they want a fight. They're looking for a fight.
So just say that.
Because it sounds so much cooler. You know?
Yeah, it sounds cool, man. One thing I want to add to is...
Noah?
Okay, so I guess I'm square. Whatever.
One thing I want to add to is they did it a lot throughout the show. I like the commentary team of Corey Graves, Vic Joseph, and Nigel McGuinness because I thought they gelled well together on commentary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a nice change up. I agree.
Well,
Same.
I agree with Colin. I don't think that Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode should have won, although SmackDown does need the win here. Otherwise, where else are they going to get it?
That's when you have the Revival do it.
They should have won this. They should have been in the freaking tag team triple threat, but that's a rant for another day. But, yeah.
Agree.
Continuity-wise, they really should have had Gallows and Anderson win this. Because they just won and became the greatest tag team in the world. Like, they really should have won this, but whatever. Like I said, I thought it was meh. It was just okay. It was filler. It gave us a way for SmackDown to get a point, and we move on to a Cruiserweight Championship match that basically gives us a plot hole. Because this title has been recently rebranded NXT, and you have a Raw guy and a SmackDown guy vying for the title. Now, do they bring it to their brand and rebrand it again? Does it remain NXT on some other brand? Are they now property of NXT? In which case, it would be beneficial to lose this match, because you keep Lio Rush and you get Akira Tozawa or, what's his name? Fucking Kalisto. Off of a main brand. Just... plot holes all to hell, but thank God Lio Rush won.
Mm-hmm.
There's your NXT. They had to end the pre-show with a win for each brand so that the pre-show can still count, but still kind of not matter. See what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Cindy.
Okay, now, when I found out about this match, I was very happy. But the only issues I was having is that you're defending the NXT Cruiserweight title to a person that is on Monday Night Raw and another person on SmackDown. Honestly, they should not defending the title. It should be like Cruiserweight brand supremacy. But I can understand why, because 205 Live is still on the air despite being canceled on Friday night, just for one night only, yet again. I can see where they come from. Honestly, it should have been like either just have like a brand supremacy cruiserweight match, or just have Leo Rush defending the title against anybody from NXT, like Angel Garza, because he defeated Isaiah Swerve Scott on the first ever kickoff pre-show match for NXT TakeOver history. Overall, it was pretty good, but it seems that it's going to be one of the kickoff pre-show that's going to be an afterthought for those of the people that has not fallen up with like the Cruiserweight or even 205 Live and I can respect that, you know. I mean, hey, 205 Live will always have a very special place in my heart, you know. Agree or disagree, whatever, but it feels like it's a bit of a spot fest altogether, but still, I'm glad Leo Rush retained his title. And, of course, NXT actually got the point this time. But still, I wish that the title should not be defended. It should just focus on just the brand supremacy match. Or have Leo Rush competing against somebody else from, like, the 205 Live NXT Cruiserweight brand. That's all I can say.
I understand what they did here, though. And I think they did the best that they could with the fact that I guess they came into the show and somebody realized we don't have enough matches where a brand gets a point. And they had to throw some shit together, and what better way to throw together a big match that might satisfy people than with a bunch of tag teams? What do you do with them? Well, Battle Royal, sure. And then we've also got a title that we've left out that doesn't have a counterpart, unless you want to put him in the ring with Walter, and then. But anyway, so they did the best that they could with it. I was okay with it. It was a fun little match. What do you think about it, Owen?
I thought the match was great. I really enjoyed it. I thought all the three guys went out there and really put their bodies on the line. My favorite spot of the whole match was when Leo Rush did the double hip toss to both men. It was kind of weird. Throughout the whole show, NXT was definitely presented as like the faces and the underdogs, which I really liked, because that's kind of how it should be, because NXT is the brand that everybody loves anyways, so I kind of like that they're presented as the baby faces, which I think is cool. And I can actually understand why, it's all defended against many superstars, since, Akira Tozawa and Kalisto fit the 205 Live banner. And I think this is maybe a bit of the advantage of not watching Raw and SmackDown every week, because I don't think about that type of stuff. I just enjoy the matches. So there you go. Leo Rush winning obviously makes sense. I really like that. And I was surprised they didn't do something with Angel Garza. And I'm wondering if they did the 205 Live stuff, the match at TakeOver, then the match here, as kind of like a makeup, since 205 Live got canceled last minute. So they made up for it by saying, hey, let's not have you waste your time flying out here for no reason.
That's a good point. Colin?
Yeah, that's a really good point. I was happy with the match. Leo Rush came to collect as always. I hate listening to him talk on the mic with Bobby Lashley, but I love watching the dude wrestle in the ring. So, yeah, we'll see where he goes next with this Angel Garza, because isn't it supposed to happen on NXT TV this week, right?
I don't know. They didn't announce anything. They did look at angle. They did an angle with it.
Because I know he won a number one contender match, so.
No, we just considered it to be sort of like that was a TakeOver.
Yeah.
I don't think there was actually a number one contendership match. I'm looking back though.
Okay.
While I'm doing that, Noah, our resident 205 Live guy, what do you think about the Cruiserweight title match here?
I always will support the Cruiserweights and the Cruiserweight title. I get it, okay? It was already weird to begin with the fact they only had 5 matches for so-called brand supremacy. Also, you had each title, top-tier title, being defended in their own showcase match. This was a combination of both. They defended the Cruiserweight title, which is an NXT title of its own class, but they put in a brand supremacy match against 2 former Cruiserweight champions, in Kalisto and Akira Tozawa. At this point, I don't know who the fuck owns the Cruiserweights. back in the beginning, you thought it was Raw, and now the Cruiserweight division under 205 Live being its own thing, being slowly assimilated into the NXT product, still being worked on. Like you all said, you all raised very valuable points. It was a great match, what it was worth, and I'm sure this was definitely to make up for the fact that 205 Live was canned after SmackDown this week and replaced with NXT, hyping up Survivor Series that didn't even focus on the Cruiserweights at all in any way, shape, form, or capacity. It was all about NXT, Raw, or SmackDown. For the match, I thought it was okay, but it was weird not seeing Angel Garza and Leo Rush furthered by this in any way. Especially what happened with War Games with that slap. But I enjoyed the match overall. And the man of the hour, he collect. So about that.
Well, I think this is brand versus brand versus brand, and there's not really supposed to be storylines that advance. You saw some of that in the 5-on-5-on-5 matches, but that was inter-brand and like backstabbing kind of shit. Not the stuff that you expected, though. I did want to say, though, Noah, don't worry. Much like NXT is slowly absorbing 205 Live, What's NXT has no problem allowing you to join the brand and help us review every week when 205 Live goes out of business. I thought this was a fun match. Triple threats really can be when they're high flyers because there's just no stopping in the action. But to be honest, it didn't hold my attention until the end. And then we saw just a magnificent lowdown, essentially. It's a frog splash, but he does a lowdown. And what does he call it? The
Final hour.
Final hour. 1, 2, 3, Leo Rush gets the win and the point for NXT. And then we go on to the Tag Team Champions match, the triple threat. We've got New Day, and we've got Kofi Kingston and Big E giving a brief interview right before they do their... Big E does that, announcement before the intro theme music. And let me just say, I said it in the chat room earlier, Big E is just fucking amazing on that mic. And I just imagine, because they finally show him doing the Chicago thing, and he puts his whole body into it. And I just imagine that even when he's not on camera doing that, he does that anyway. He still does it. And I'm like, how does this man talk after this? Like, I don't understand. Anyway, he's just great. They come out, and then we've got Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly coming out. So they have their own 3D graphic that they superimpose into the arena above them as they're coming down the rampway. That was cool. We also got to see that for Adam Cole later. And they're facing the Viking Raiders. We lovingly know them as the War Raiders. That's Hanson and Rowe or Eric and Ivar. Whatever. So let's start with Owen. What do you think about the tag team triple threat match here?
First thing I want to say, I know we like this show, but Kofi Kingston over a month ago, a little over a month ago, was WWE champion. Now he's wrestling on a kickoff show and back in the tag division. Let's let that sink in for a second. Just saying. I know we all hated the Kofi Wayne, but I just feel bad. For what
I didn't.
happened.
I love Kofi as the champion. But please continue.
Yeah. I know but he shouldn't have fallen as far as he fell faster than Jinder did, honestly. Like,
damn.
I mean, Jinder at least got a rematch for the championship. He got nothing. Like, but anyhow.
He did get a rematch, but continue your point, because this isn't like back when. Continue.
But yeah, I enjoyed the triple threat match. I was disappointed it got moved to the kickoff show. But I guess you had to move another match down, and I guess this match had to be it. I really enjoyed this match. I really enjoyed the interaction that all the teams had with each other. I enjoyed seeing, like, the New Day, and, I'm just going to call them the War Raiders because I really hate that name.
Thank you.
Face Off. And I thought Fish and O'Reilly really came off as, like, those scrappy, kind of, like, calculated heels in this match by choosing and picking the spots when they were going to take out their opponents. And the Viking Raiders winning, I really don't have an issue with. I mean, obviously, I wanted NXT to get the wins, but I'm kind of like, you know what? I see what they're doing here. They want Raw, NXT, and SmackDown to all come in at least with 1 point, so it makes sense. And the Viking Raiders, they've been pushing fairly strongly on Raw, so it works because they actually have yet to lose a match as a tag team since they've joined WWE. Very interesting. So I thoroughly, enjoyed this, and I wish the Undisputed Era didn't have to take the fall. I kind of wish the New Day had taken the fall because I feel like that doesn't hurt them as much, just because it's the New Day. Like the Undisputed Era, the ones that are like being pushed consistently. But I guess what are you gonna do? I guess they have an out though, because the one thing they kept saying throughout the show with all the NXT guys was they all wrestled the night before, and especially Fish and O'Reilly were in War Games, so they do have an out. But I just really wish that they didn't have to take the loss. But
Well, yeah, but if Kofi had taken the loss, you'd be bitching about that. So.
Well, Big E could take the loss.
Yeah, but then I would be bitching about that because come on, Big E, fuck.
There's no real way to not bitch about this match. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Well, my biggest complaint about this match is that it was on the pre-show. Even if it was the last one on the pre-show, when it ended, there was still 16 minutes left before the pay-per-view started. This, to me, stole the show. This tag team match was fun and awesome. They had tons of spots. It never slowed down. And you're talking about half of this match were big dudes, and the other half are technicians and flyers. And like, I thought this was possibly the best match on the whole show. So to me, the tragedy is that it was on the pre-show to begin with. Yeah. Some other match could have been on here. For that matter, no, I guess this was one of the only ones that Raw got the win on. Or was it the only one? Anyway,
it was.
Yes.
Your thoughts, Colin?
I'm gonna say one other thing too. That's also a problem too with the pre-show match is the best match, because I feel like the pre-show match would like set the tone for the rest of the show, not be the best match on the show.
And that's why the crowd died later in the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Colin, your thoughts on basically the main event of the pre-show?
Yeah. Well, obviously I was upset to see Undisputed Era eat the loss. Because I figured since they took the loss last night in War Games, they were going to clean sweep tonight. I figured since they're getting pushed so hard, that's what I kind of expected. And when I agree with what Owen was saying, why they had to take the pinfall when Big E or Kofi could have easily taken it, because it's the New Day. They're established. They can afford to lose it, yes. They're champions, but they're all champions. Great match. Let's see it again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that could have probably made it better if it's with the Revival instead of the New Day. Like it should have been.
Yeah.
Noah, your thoughts?
Again, my biggest gripe about this match before Friday was the fact the Revival were taken out. And then you saw what the Revival could create with Undisputed Era alone. If you would have added the War Raiders, fuck that new name, to this match with Revival, this clearly would have been everyone's match of the night. But I get it. New Day, Vince product. You gotta do a nice evening out of everybody winning the opening show. Pretty sure that Vince wanted New Day in this the whole entire time. Hashtag FTR. But that being said, I did enjoy this match. It was insanely fun. The freaking things that Rowe can do are still beyond what a cruiserweight should do. That is insane. 305 Live lives. And the New Day, they had their fun spots. Big E, he looks like a mega star. He needs to break out as a single star, in my opinion, sooner than later. He is World Championship material. And, of course, my boys, Red Dragon, Undisputed Era, they brought the fight. They were calculating their attack. They worked on Kofi Kingston's legs. But in the end, it was NXT all over again between Viking Raiders and Undisputed Era, with Viking Raiders, I'm saying the name, with War Raiders standing on top. And again, you're right. Since the War Raiders have been a main roster, as they call it, WWE, they have yet to lose a tag team match. So it does make all the sense in the world. But I enjoyed this match very thoroughly. Best part of the pre-show.
I don't think they have a loss in NXT either. I didn't think they did.
I'm not sure. Cindy?
Okay, so I was pretty disappointed. Not only Undisputed Era lost a match, but they're also in the kickoff pre-show. Like, I actually expressed it on both the NXTeam group chat and on the No DQ group chat that am I the only one that felt a bit sorry for Undisputed Era getting
no, you weren't.
And I know Jeff Meacham said I'm not the only one, because I know he was like pretty tad disappointed that O'Reilly and Fish is in a kickoff pre-show because Undisputed Era has been the top tag team in NXT, and now they're in a kickoff pre-show. Not only that, they lost not only in War Games, but in this pay-per-view standalone, of course, to the Viking Raiders. But with that being said, the match was pretty good. I wish it should have been the Revival instead of the New Day, but hey, of course, like what you said, no, it's Vince McMahon's booking. I have to respect that. And also, they're like the longest reigning WWE Tag Team champ in a long time. Also, Kofi's a veteran too, so whatever. It's pretty good for what it is. I mean, everybody looks good, but sucks about Undisputed Era lost, so that's all I can say about that. But Viking Raiders won. I mean, that's the only thing. Raw won for all the rest of the night for the pay-per-view. That's
So
all
it
that
kind of
matters,
had to
but
be on the
pretty good.
pre-show. It kind of had to be on the pre-show because you wanted to go into the pay-per-view with all of them tied up, so anything could happen. So if it's the only match where the War Raiders are going to win.
And I know Stephanie did brought up about like, you know, adding that match to the pre-show is actually going to cut the time for the pay-per-view itself, like 20 to 30 minutes, like you said.
Yeah. You know, it cuts the time from the pay-per-view so we don't have to sit through the entire pay-per-view for longer. You know, however long it ended up being, was it like 2.5 hours? Maybe close to 3? Was not
Pretty
that bad.
It's like a bit shorter than last year's Survivor Series pay-per-view.
Yeah, add 20 or 25 minutes to that, and that's what it would have been. In this case, something had to go on the pre-show, and if they had shorter vignettes about the matches that were going to be on the show, they could have had another match be on the pre-show, honestly, and save us a little bit more time, be a little bit more like NXT, where it's 2.5 hours and you're done.
Yeah.
In this case, I was okay with it. If it's going to be somewhere, at least let's call it the main event of the pre-show, because it was that good of a match. But somebody had to do it. And I'm glad that somebody did do it, because it made the entirety of Survivor Series that much shorter. So, speaking of, let's move on to Survivor Series.
Support, no DQ.
First up on the pay-per-view, we've got the women's 5-on-5-on-5, SmackDown versus Raw versus NXT. Okay, let me see if I get this right. Team NXT is Rhea Ripley, Toni Storm, Bianca Belair, Io Shirai, and Candice LeRae. Team Raw is Charlotte Flair and 4 other chicks. And then Team SmackDown is Nikki Cross and Lacey Evans and Carmella and 2 other chicks. I think
Close enough.
I think Asuka's on Team Raw. I'm pretty sure.
Both,
Who else am I
the
missing?
Spooky Warriors were both on Raw.
Yeah.
Kairi Sane was on Raw.
Let's go ahead, for the sake of the people, give them all 15. Team Raw was Charlotte, Natalya, Asuka, Kairi, and Sarah Logan. Team SmackDown was Sasha Banks, apologies if I screwed up her name, I am tired. Carmella, why? Dana Brooke, Nikki Cross, and Lacey Evans. And Team NXT, the best women's division, there I said it, in professional wrestling right now, led by Rhea Ripley, your favorite Stefan, was Candice LeRae, Io Shirai, Bianca Belair, and Shiny Toni Storm. Now you may call.
Shiny.
So there's a couple of notes to take from this match. First of all, Io Shirai and Candice LeRae get taken out, and like literally doctors come down and escort them to the back. Something with their abdomens. They don't show any replays as to what happened, and they're just gone. So immediately, well, almost immediately, Team NXT is down 2 people, and it's now 3-on-5-on-5. And then we start eliminating people. And we actually get it down to where it's 1-on-1-on-3, and nobody from Team NXT has been fucking eliminated, technically. And then Bianca Belair and who was the other one? Toni Storm simultaneously get eliminated. And it's down to Rhea Ripley, and by this point we've got Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, and Sasha Banks. And this is the fucking match. Get rid of the other 12 motherfuckers in the ring. This is the match that we all want to see. And it's alright. It's alright. Charlotte Flair gets eliminated first, and then while Sasha Banks starts to get towards the win, we see Io Shirai and Candice LeRae come back to the ring as if nothing's wrong. and they get some interference and some 3-on-1 basically for Rhea Ripley to eventually hit the Riptide and get the victory. This was fairly well done. Like I don't really see any problems in this whole match. It wasn't seamless or anything, but it all worked well. We had the spot where Asuka turned on Charlotte Flair because somebody got a blind tag in. I think it was Asuka got a blind tag in, and Charlotte took exception and started like pushing on her and shit, and maybe smacking her. So she got the miss to the face, and Asuka left. So she gets, I guess, eliminated from the match by quitting. I don't know. Technically, she never got eliminated. But anyway, yeah, that was, and I think there was one other spot. But let's go with Colin here first.
Well, I thought this was a good match to kick off the actual pay-per-view with. You have 2 5-on-5 matches, so you got to figure one's probably going to open and one's going to close, which didn't happen. But still, you figured, you got 2 of the same match, just kind of how NXT War Games. You had one start, you had one close. The Asuka spot was I didn't see that coming at all. But as soon as I saw her do the shove back and forth, I was like, Charlotte's going to get that green shit in her face.
Yeah.
And 30 seconds later, boom.
She got the green shit in the face.
Yeah, she got the green shit in the face. So, what's this set up for now between Asuka and Charlotte Flair? Because are they going to keep Becky and Charlotte as a tag team still? Because they've been teaming up again, recently and stuff. So we'll see where it goes from there. Now, good match. Start the show with. So the right team won, and that's all I have to say on that.
All right, Noah.
I enjoyed this match for what it was worth. Like I said, the women have truly been carrying last month per se, especially in NXT. So I'm glad the NXT team won. And like Triple H said in his exclusive interview with Rhea announcer team, war brings enemies together because Io Shirai and Candice LeRae. And here's the thing. My friend was arguing so much about, these two are just fighting each other last night. They were going up against each other's guts. Now they're working together tonight? I'm like, dude, kayfabe be dead. It's truly about the brand here. Bitter rivalries bring enemies together as friends. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, enough said. I enjoyed the match. It was kind of obvious to me the Asuka and the Charlotte Flair spot was going to happen. Because, guys, what happened last year at WrestleMania and pretty much has never, ever been able to capitalize since? Charlotte beat Asuka. So they can go all the way back to that. They're clearly rebuilding this match. As far as the rest of the women, SmackDown was absolutely irrelevant, except for Sasha Banks, who, I'll give her credit, she made it to the end, and it really came down to what I thought was the best portion of the match between Sasha Banks and Rhea Ripley, who were doing out against each other, and I'm like, Rhea got her! Damn it, not yet. And I was like, Sasha, uh-oh, ooh. And then, again, I thought they were gone. No, they weren't. And NXT, and there's no DQ, so, hey, what are you going to do?
There is DQ.
And they were eliminated, so it wasn't like they even could break any rules.
There is absolutely DQ. This is an elimination match. Even though it's triple threat, there's disqualification because everybody has to be eliminated, not just one person gets the win. That's why a one-on-one triple threat match has got no disqualification, because if one person gets disqualified, who wins? Which of the other two is the one that wins?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
In this case, everybody gets taken out one by one.
Yeah, but as far as that goes, it feels like that's been blurred, because we see what shenanigans Survivor Series has pulled out in these type of matches. But overall, I enjoyed the match. I'm glad NXT won. Rhea Ripley continues to build her momentum. And now that Io Shirai and Candice LeRae have shined, not for one night, but 2 nights, Candice LeRae, Rhea Ripley shine for both, and Io, Candice, and Rhea shine now in Survivor Series. Big things got to be coming for all 3 of those women. We're on SmackDown. Too bad, so sad.
All right, Cindy.
All right, so I was pretty amazed by this match. The only thing that was pretty interesting is that everybody came out to just the brand theme together instead of going into their separate themes, because you can be forever seeing each of them going to their theme entrance, but all 3 brands pretty much came out in their prospective brand entrance. So that's pretty interesting. So, of course, I was concerned about Io and Candice, but then again, I was like, okay, maybe going to be like War Games all over again with the whole, like, Tegan not toe-to-tie situation, but hey, it turns out pretty well. Now, regarding with my reaction to some of the eliminations, so Nikki Cross is the first person out from Team SmackDown. I feel pretty bad for Nikki, though, especially the fact that she used to be the WWE Women's Tag Team Champ along with Alexa Bliss, but such that she's the first person that got eliminated from SmackDown. From Raw, first person got eliminated, Sarah Logan, which I'm not surprised. And then, this Carmella got eliminated too. Of course, she got eliminated by Charlotte Flair. Nikki and Sarah got eliminated both by Bianca Belair. Dana Brooks, pretty much no reactions from her whatsoever when she did her moveset. I'm glad she got new ring gear. It looks way better, in my opinion. But she got eliminated by Asuka. And then that's when the whole situation happened with Asuka to Charlotte Flair with spitting the poison mist to her. Left the ring, saying fuck y'all and goodbye. So I was like, okay. And then that's when Lacey Evans got the advantage to attack Charlotte, and Charlotte got eliminated. But no, Natalya attacked Lacey and eliminated next. And then lo and behold, which, I was not happy. First person from NXT that got eliminated. I know Holly would be happy, and so are you, Colin and Jerry. Toni Storm was the first person got eliminated from NXT by submission. Darn it. She
didn't look too horrible tonight, I'll say that.
Indeed.
Respect Toni Storm.
Sole survivor because, she was MIA from NXT UK ever since her loss at NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff. So I always figured this is maybe the chance that she could outshine, the women's division and see this is why I'm bad. This is why her, her redemption song. But hey, it is what it is though. And of course, Bianca Belair got eliminated by Sasha Banks, and then Natalya got eliminated again by Sasha Banks, and it went down to Sasha and Rhea.
Yeah.
Man, that face-off they both have was freaking incredible. I was kind of concerned about how it's gonna end, but then again you have Candice LeRae and Io Shirai, which they're former best friends. Keep in mind, especially this whole rivalry, they actually work together to help Rhea beat Sasha. Kind of in a not so clean sweep, but hey. I like it. It kind of put a smile on my face that NXT won this match altogether. It's fucking incredible. I would say this is the best 5-on-5 women's Survivor Series match I've seen in quite a long time. And these ladies fucking killed it, no matter what.
Yeah, I think I said earlier.
Also, I think it's safe to say, Raw and SmackDown don't give a damn about their brand. NXT cared tonight.
Yeah,
exactly. It's so interesting that, Io and Bianca, they're both heels, actually work together with Rhea and Candice and Toni together, putting their differences aside for just one night and say, well, both, Raw and SmackDown, they're kind of we'll do this, do that. It's kind of a complete melee, though. But,
I think it's more interesting that the two women that feigned illness or feigned an injury were the two that had the most beef with each other going into that match. Io Shirai and Candice LeRae. They put away a ton of heat between the two of them in order to pull that off.
Oh,
and they also kicked off War Games last night, too. They were the ones in it the longest.
Indeed.
Yeah, this was a showcase for Rhea Ripley, is what this was. She looked amazing. And I think I said earlier that it came down to Charlotte and Sasha and Rhea, and I was wrong. Yeah, it was Natalya. But she got eliminated fairly quickly because Sasha looked like she was going to team up with her and then stabbed her in the back, pinned her real quick. Yeah. And then it was down to Sasha and Rhea. And I think if it hadn't been for the ruse, then maybe Sasha should have gotten the win. Because, I mean, she is more seasoned, and she's held the title on, I think, both brands. And in this case, you still wanted Rhea to get the win. You wanted NXT to get the win because, spoiler alert, NXT dominates this show.
Hell
And
yeah.
By the way, the end of this match, think about it. It was a rematch from SmackDown that Rhea also won. She faced Sasha Banks in the opener of SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
your thoughts on this match, Owen?
I really enjoyed this. So in the beginning, I was a bit scared because I wasn't sure if the Io Shirai Candice LeRae injury was legit. Because typically, they were just laid out, so I wasn't sure like if they legitimately like got injured. But then the match continued. I really loved seeing the Sky Pirates have a face-off because that's something that I had waited for in the NXT days, and we never got it because they called Kairi Sane up to the main roster like right away. And I don't know if Io Shirai, when she turned heel, was supposed to turn heel on Kairi, but I'm happy we got that here. I enjoyed Natalya and Sasha Banks doing the sharpshooter bank statement combination submission on Toni Storm. That was innovative. Bianca Belair looked really strong. There's a minor gripe I have with the Survivor Series elimination matches. It's just nitpicking, but I hate it when the eliminations occur and like the wrestlers don't come in and try to break it up or anything like that. You just let your partner get eliminated. So like when it's down, when you're down, against the wall, like I'm kind of like, well, why would I like Rhea Ripley like didn't break up like a pinfall when her teammates were getting eliminated, so that didn't really make any sense to me.
Well, the problem with that is, in order for you to get a pinfall in that kind of situation, all 12 women that are on the outside are going to have to get taken out in order for the first pinfall to happen. And then after that, all 11 women on the outside are going to have, like, that's where it's at. Like, you have to just set, like, a gentleman's rule where you don't get in and break up pinfalls unless it needs to be done in the context of what's going on in the match. So I get it both directions, but if you really wanted to stress that they should do that, you can also argue that this is a regular match. You are susceptible to disqualification and count out. So maybe if you interrupt in the match or do it too many times, you end up getting somebody disqualified, whether it's the legal person or you for interrupting in the match. So maybe that's why, or maybe it's, like I said, just a gentleman's agreement that you just don't do it. Otherwise, this match is going to take an hour and 13 minutes, and nobody's going to want to fucking see it.
But I love the finish. I love that, we had that outspoken by NXT. It made NXT look like a superior brand, and it made, NXT actually come off looking really smart. And it actually kind of is good storytelling because the previous night on NXT, Shayna Baszler's team did that to Rhea Ripley in War Games, and this kind of all makes sense because Io Shirai was on Shayna Baszler's team, so maybe Io Shirai was the mastermind behind this plan. Maybe she was the one that came up with it, and maybe Rhea Ripley kind of used that plan as well in the advantage of the main roster. So I really like that. And Rhea Ripley, I think, made sense to get the win, regardless of if this plan happened or not, because if you want to have Rhea Ripley be the one to take the title from Shayna Baszler, you need to make her look as strong as possible. And they're doing a very good job of that.
I think
they're having, she got the win at SmackDown this week. She beat Shayna Baszler in the cage match. I think she's had to have had like the best 3 days by a young woman wrestler like that. I don't think it gets any better than what Rhea Ripley accomplished this week.
Yeah, I think Vince McMahon has been watching
The only reason
NXT.
Money Night Raw.
I think Vince McMahon has been watching NXT now that it's live, and much like me, he has been drooling over Rhea Ripley, and much like Colin, he's been drooling over Keith Lee just the same. And I think that showed in this pay-per-view. But we'll get to Keith Lee later because he just Anyway, so next is the mid-card champions match. We've got Shinsuke Nakamura, the Intercontinental Championship, coming out with Sami Zayn, and of course he's got the new title. We've got Roderick Strong coming out with the North American Championship, and AJ Styles coming out by himself, no club, because they were eliminated from the show up over the top rope in the first match of the night. Anyway, he comes out by himself, and this was a really good match. Like, it wasn't show stealing or anything, but the ending was kind of surprising, and there were a lot of near falls, like spots where anybody could have won it, but of course it's a triple threat, so you got that third person to break up the pin. Let's start with Noah. What do you think about this mid-card champion match?
Holy mackerel, this is the first time I could think that the friggin' mid-card titles actually really looked like they mattered, and none of them were involved as far as defense goes. By the way, shout out to fellow NXT member James Hebert, because he noticed, also like me, the New Intercontinental Championship was a lot like, for those that are fans of British wrestling, the Progress Championship, but that's a detail for another day. As far as this match goes, I thought personally this was going to be a match of the night. It came very close to being that. It was awesome. A lot of hard-hitting styles. There was a couple of handicap moments. I was really going with the idea of AJ Styles like the next level wrestler, because when it comes to triple threats, he shines strongly. To this day, one of my all-time favorite matches is AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, Turning Point 2006 from TNA. Go look that up. It was when TNA was actually watchable. But as far as this match goes, I should have known in triple threats Roderick Strong's craftiness, because in the end, he took advantage of Akeem Shasha, and he got the win just going in for the steal after a phenomenal form from AJ Styles on Nakamura. I should have known better. Sami Zayn, of course, playing a factor too. I knew that had to come into play. At one point, I thought he literally gave Nakamura the win. It didn't happen. I felt during one point of this match, all three men were this close to winning, and that's what you should do for me in a triple threat. Make all three look strong, demonstrate the rivalry these three men have shared, and show how well these three men clash. I love this match from top to bottom.
Yeah, we should have.
I got that prediction wrong.
Yeah, we should have all known, because the last time Roderick Strong defended the North American Championship was in a triple threat match, and he took advantage at the end and he got the win. I just don't think any of us thought that NXT was going to get as many wins as they did. Otherwise,
Exactly.
if we were like any one of the brands could just sweep, especially NXT, if we knew that there was a chance that NXT could sweep this, then a lot of people would have had tons of NXT victories. But you had to hold back because you thought it was going to be close. Oh, fuck, it wasn't close. Let's move on to
Nice
Cindy.
job, Owen.
Yeah, I didn't hold back. My bias actually helped me this time.
Yeah. What do you think about this match, Cindy?
Man, that match was quite good to say at least, minus the whole like interference from Sami Zayn, of course. But it is what it is. Overall, everybody looked great. I thought AJ Styles was gonna win this match because I was thinking about notoriety. AJ Styles a top star for Raw, well WWE alike, but no. Roderick Strong is the real unsung hero in this match with the surprising victory. Like, I couldn't even, imagine the reaction everybody got, when Roddy won. He, knows that we should have known better. We know about his craft, through past matches of NXT. He's the current North American champion. It's, it kind of blew my mind together. I'm very happy about this match altogether. Happy Roderick Strong won. I should have picked him, but it's all good though. So yeah, that's all I can say.
Keep in mind, AJ Styles is defending the United States Championship tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw.
That's gonna be.
Owen?
I really like this. It was fantastic stuff. They're all very good professional wrestlers. I really like how Sami Zayn's being used in the manager role. I know some people don't because he's so much more talented than that, but I think of it like this. Sami Zayn is just going to, even if he goes back to a wrestling role, will just be getting jobbed out each week. He can actually be of value for WWE right now. So I really like Sami Zayn being in this manager role. And I really liked the match. I thought it was very back and forth. And I got to say, Roderick Strong is probably the Iron Man in NXT. He worked the War Games from start last night and wrestled this match in a frenzy. I think he held back a little bit because maybe he had some lagger and injuries from last night, because I could definitely tell he wasn't going 100 miles an hour like he usually does. But this match still was great. I was very happy Roderick Strong won. And I'm okay, because I was very nervous on this whole show. NXT's got to look strong here. And I'll get to why, I think NXT should look strong when we get to the end of the show. But I really enjoyed it. The right guy won. I really wouldn't have been mad if who would won, but I think Roderick Strong, since he's that crafty mid-card champion, made sense to win. And, AJ Styles has an out because he didn't get pinned. And I guess someone had to eat the fall, but I think it's not really going to hurt Shinsuke Nakamura by losing. because with these matches, someone's got to take a loss, and Shinsuke Nakamura really isn't really doing much with the mid-card title, so it had to be Nakamura. So that's what I think. That's where I stand on that.
This
Regardless,
pay-per-view,
we all got that right.
what this pay-per-view did was exactly what Aaron Rift and everybody else that has been covering wrestling for the last 20 years has been saying WWE doesn't do well. This pay-per-view was designed to build stars. It was their one opportunity to get NXT on a WWE pay-per-view, and they didn't waste it. Even in the... I want to talk about it, but it's later. Everybody from NXT looked good, put it that way. Everybody looked good. Maybe the worst anybody looked was Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. And that's kind of a shame, but they also had the best match of the pre-show. So, give and take. I think this was the spot where all pretenses were off, essentially, because NXT was now up 3-1, which means that either Raw or SmackDown could catch up and get 2 more victories and tie them, or we're pretty much given the point where NXT is either won this or tied. One more win and it's a definite,
Yeah.
So
I thought this final thing I want to say. I know we're not talking about commentary-wise, but since I don't listen to commentary on the main roster, I think because he's so fresh and he hasn't been doing commentary for years, I really enjoy Jerry the King Lawler on commentary.
Yeah, I like how the commentary booth was never the same for any 2 matches in a row. It just it switched. In fact, I don't think it was the same for any single match. Colin, what did you think about this match here?
Well, going into it, I initially was going to pick Roderick Strong, but like you noted earlier, you can't pick NXT to clean sweep it because it wasn't going to work that way. So I ended up switching with Shinsuke Nakamura, which ended up biting me in the ass. But, yeah, I know, but I was trying to think outside of the box just a little bit for once in my life. But, there's always next year. But no, I thought it was a great match. Roderick Strong showed why he is in the position he is in NXT and in Undisputed Era. I don't know what combo I'd like to see out of this match again because all 3 stars play off each other so well. We know the rivalry between AJ and Shinsuke. And honestly, Roderick Strong is one of those guys who can work with anybody. So,
yeah.
Fantastic
anybody
match.
look good. We've said that before on the show.
What's that?
I said, yeah, Roderick Strong can make anybody look good. We've said that before on What's NXT. He's just that guy. He's like the top mid-card guy. That's why he's got the title, probably. Because he's the guy that can make anybody look good. So you're always going to have a good title match. Yeah, I don't think enough can be said about the importance of the win here. This sets the precedent. But before we can add any more points to any more brands, we are now on to the championship part of the show, where titles are actually on the line. First up is the NXT Championship. So we've got Pete Dunne going against Adam Cole, who... Now, Pete Dunne went through a brutal triple threat match last night, but Adam Cole went through 2 tables from the top of a cage. So the fact that they put on such a classic is just beyond me. But this match was great from beginning to end. And I know there was a little bit of slow movement in the beginning of the match, but it was all working on parts that were already taped off, so it all made sense. So it was all story, and I was happy. This was a great match to me. Let's start with Cindy. What did you think about this match?
Okay, that match was pretty amazing, but the only thing that I kind of have an issue is the crowd reaction, because the crowd was semi not feeling this match at all. You could hear one CM Punk chant that started. I remember Son Gokushu. He's there live on NXT. Not NXT. Hey, Matthew Bushman. Hi, how are you? He was there on Survivor Series. And Colin left.
We'll get him back. It's okay. Keep going.
Okay. Anyway, so he was there. He sent the video of the crowd reaction during the match, and it was kind of like semi-dead silent, and there's like a bit of like CM Punk chunk, but not too much. But then he stated like someone in a section started, but then the whole section started to boo because it wasn't even like feeling this match altogether until like halfway to the ending. That's when the whole crowd reaction started to pop, and I kind of feel sorry for both Adam Cole, baby, and Pete Dunne because they're trying to give it their all to put an incredible title match alive too. I guess it's because like you got some that is like more like main roster focused, and then you have like half that is like NXT focused, especially like you're in like the major stage in a big 4 pay-per-view altogether, and I get that too. But with that being said, it was fucking fantastic though. I know it was like on the edge of my seat. It's like, okay, Cole, please retain the title, please retain the title. You thought that Pete Dunne almost gonna win, but it didn't. Nope. Adam Cole did what he had to do, and he retained the title. I was highly satisfied, and overall, it was a pretty great match. But the crowd reaction sucks altogether. But just saying.
Owen, what did you think about the match?
I thought the match was awesome. I think what this match did, that it accomplished, was showcasing NXT. You can't just showcase them in the Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT matches. You need to showcase what also NXT has to put on the table weekly. And this match, I think, accomplished that by putting 2 people that are under the NXT banner in a match together. However, yeah, the crowd reaction sucked. There could be a combination of a couple of things. One, some people, and we have to just kind of accept that, just don't watch NXT. They only watch Raw and SmackDown, so they're throwing guys out there that we don't know. I think one thing that they could have done is maybe show us like a little video package kind of showing us like who is Adam Cole, who is Pete Dunne, because maybe that would have helped. Mm-hmm. I think the flop with this match too is the crowd probably could have been a bit burnt out because we also had like 2 barn burner matches. I would have swapped. I would have put Rey Mysterio versus Brock Lesnar here as like that cool down match, because that kind of was what that was, and then maybe put Dunne and Cole where that match was, just flip the matches. But the match was still great, and I think hopefully it got people to kind of want to tune into NXT. Adam Cole retained made sense, and because you want to keep all the titles on Undisputed Era. I mean, if you wanted to get crazy, you could have put the title on Dunne. It's like and then make people want to tune into NXT by having Cole just win the title back. But NXT is not really known for doing short title changes, so I was fine with what they did. I love the Panama Sunrise into the last shot. I know he's done it before, but it was just fantastic, and I really enjoyed that. So this match was great.
My favorite was the Panama Sunrise on the apron.
Yes.
Yeah.
Off the fucking post into the apron. Off the apron into the apron. That was sick. But yeah, he reversed that bitter end. He came up over his shoulders during the bitter end and somehow hit a fucking, it was more of a Canadian destroyer at that point, but still.
Yeah. And
then hit the last shot, 1, 2, 3, Adam Cole. Like, I think this is Chicago. Most of the crowd knows NXT. This is Chicago, man. Been there.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, I was watching this show with people that like only watch Raw and SmackDown, so they couldn't get into the match because they don't know Adam Cole and Pete Dunne.
All I know is that there would be NXT chants throughout the crowd, throughout the show, but there was never any Raw chants or SmackDown chants.
Yeah.
So.
Also, too, it was kind of weird to hear this match without Molo on commentary. I don't know. They did give a reason, said that he lost his voice, but I don't know if that was just a storyline reason. Because, I know how Molo feels about doing main roster shows. Let's be real. We know how he feels about that. It's been reported. But, I mean, maybe it's true, but I have a feeling it's a mixture of both.
Well, especially when JBL's there. Because he was shown there during the pre-show.
Well, the reports came... I know this is a different topic, but the report came out saying that it was nothing to do with JBL. He said that he just doesn't like to commentate under Vince because Vince tries to micromanage everybody.
I think I read somewhere that Mauro Ranallo deleted his Twitter account.
He did.
He disabled it.
So anyway, let's move on to Noah. What did you think about the NXT Championship match?
First off, Mauro Ranallo, God bless you. Take care. You're a mental health advocate. You don't need that stress in your life. You got us away from Twitter. More power to you. Can't wait to hear your voice in the NXT. Obviously, if he was here tonight, it wouldn't feel the same. Secondly, Adam Cole, baby! There was no doubt in my mind Adam Cole was going to lose his title, okay? I knew he was going to retain it. What I did like about this, though, is that both men, they came in here banged up as hell. Pete Dunne with bandaged up leg and Adam Cole, baby, sporting the taped up ribs. There was some crazy spots in this match, but when I look at the championship matches, from the WWE Championship to the Blu-ray Universal Championship to the NXT Championship, I knew this was going to be the best out of the three. I also knew that I was going to enjoy this match a lot because I'm NXT. I know the history Pete Dunne pulled off 2 years ago. Adam Cole has been on a trailblaze in his career ever since the build of Survivor Series. With all of that, there was no way he was going to lose tonight. So I wasn't worried about the result. I was worried about the carrying. Yes, the crowd, they tuned out a bit. They had a CM Punk chant and they started getting quiet. But again, if you give the crowd too much of a good thing, you're going to burn them out. Hence my voice. This match was great. Had some awesome spots. That friggin' Panama Sunrise from the post to the apron. Ridiculous. Biggest pop of the night probably. And from the crowd. Made them chant holy shit. And then you had the incredible finishing combination with the reverse, like you said, on the bitter end, into Panama Sunrise, into Last Shot. Beautifully executed match. Probably my second most favorite match of the night. Loved it. And Adam Cole retained.
Yeah, he did retain. I think we all knew that. The only person that predicted a title change was Jerry, that thought Killian Dane was going to do the job.
Oh boy.
Anyway,
Come on, Jerry.
let's move on to...
Is he ever gonna learn?
Let's move on to the Universal Championship match. We've got Daniel Bryan facing The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and I think everybody knew. I didn't even underline it. There was no point. Everybody knew that Bray Wyatt was going to win this match.
Well,
To me, this was a very basic, simple match. It was a bunch of moves, Bray Wyatt hitting on Daniel Bryan because, like, just random, like, just slugging moves. And then Daniel Bryan coming back and getting some of his high spots. There was a fun spot where he was doing the yes kicks, and he would finish him with that kick to the side of the head that would drop the Fiend, but then he'd get right back up. So he did it again,
Yeah.
dropped him, and he got right back up. So he did it again, dropped him, and then he went for the running knee. He got the crowd into it with the yeses. He finally started doing it, and then he got the running knee, but you knew the Fiend was going to kick out. He kicked out of like 17 fucking curb stomps. Of course he's going to kick out of the first one of these, so he does. But by the time Daniel Bryan goes to do the second one, he gets caught with the mandible claw and pinned. I did like where he was able to reverse the mandible claw that he put on him when he was sitting on the top rope by dropping over the ropes and putting it in an armbar. But of course, this is a regular match, so he had to let it off after a 4 count. So whatever. We all knew the Fiend was going to win. No surprise here. Your thoughts on the match, though? I think Cindy.
well, that match is pretty predictable. I mean, it was decent, but all I can say is way better than the one at Hell in a Cell. Okay, yeah, and they brought back the red light yet again. Coming from someone that actually saw Bray Wyatt versus Seth Rollins Hell in a Cell match live last month, the red light can be very daunting in our vision. As long as you wear either your prescription glasses or your stylish fake glasses that's kind of like with UVA, or just a regular sunglasses that's going to help your eyesight to just like adjust. But if your eyes are starting to get bothering a bit, just make sure to close your eyes and let it, like, you know, sit out for like 15 to 20 seconds. That's what I kind of had to tell good brother Chris because his vision was kind of hurting. Like I said, we were both there. So yeah, on TV, like seeing the red light is kind of like a bit, kind of like a sight for sore right type of moment. And I know the crowd was like chanting, "We want normal light," or something like that. And then of course, like, I wasn't even like feeling that particular match altogether, but it was kind of decent overall. Like, we all knew the Fiend won. Face it. It was just a match that's been thrown out there. Just, you know, just find Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt something to do. And that's it. So overall it's decent, but hey, predictable.
Owen?
So I can't say a lot about the match because I missed it because me and my friend went to get Frenzies. I guess the only thing I say is, since you're talking about the red lights, yeah, stop it because it would make no one want to watch a Fiend match.
Yeah, it is
and
annoying.
I think I'm the only one that picked Daniel Bryan, but my pick was not legit because could have cared less about the match since since NXT wasn't there.
You threw away a point.
Hey, I'm happy NXT won over Walls, so sometimes I made sacrifices for the better. But yeah, I just say nothing more than that. You know what I mean? Like, to me, the Fiend got ruined when he didn't win the title of Hell in a Cell and got his house burnt down. So the Fiend would never. I just can't take the Fiend seriously anymore. I can't listen to his theme song. I can't watch any segments that he's been in. They ruined the Fiend in my eyes.
Noah?
Ah, jeez. I still think it's funny someone made a gif of, hey, the blue lining would be so much better.
Oh my god.
How about normal lining for Pete fucking sake? Anyway, the match had a compelling story going into it after just a couple weeks build. I liked the whole idea of passion with mental instability. And to showcase a little bit here, the neck crank spot took way too damn long. Daniel Bryan coming back was a good moment, and then he started bringing back the yes movement, and then the crowd get in the match with him, also bringing in the yes movement. But in the end, predictable outcome. He was going to go for the flying headbutt, I think. Mandible claw, doesn't go to sleep, he also gets pinned. It was 1, 2, 3. It was simple. I honestly don't know at this point, when are you going to take the Fiend seriously versus him just being a spot where you get code orange and red lighting. This match was meh to me.
Yeah.
Forgettable.
So
Also, too, I'll just back off Noah's point. When he said the neck crank, I don't think they should have. Hearing the sounds like they probably shouldn't have done that spot since, Daniel Bryan's past neck issues. And Daniel Bryan should just stop doing the flying headbutt, please.
Well, Daniel Bryan's going to retire, allegedly, within 2 years to focus as a father. Maybe this is Daniel Bryan's choice. Maybe he wants to go out all out. Lord knows Vince is going to do that with him.
well, his injury was a head injury, not a neck injury. Like, you wouldn't do this to Ciampa.
Yeah.
And by the way, Stefan, one key point we didn't mention. There were some backstage vignettes, including The Miz and Daniel Bryan. Now, this is just me speculating, but I feel like at this point, they're setting up Miz versus Daniel Bryan one-on-one.
Again, now that nobody cares.
Turn the Miz heel, please.
Up next, we've got the men's 5-on-5-on-5 brand versus brand match. And I thought this was going to go on last, but it did not. In fact, the women's champions match went on last. So that's cool, I guess. Another step in the women's revolution or evolution. Now they have main evented Survivor Series as well. But anyway, so we've got Team NXT, which, okay, let me see if I can get all of this. Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee, Matt Riddle, Walter, and Damian Priest. And then on Team Raw, we've got Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens and
Drew McIntyre,
Ricochet,
and Randy Orton. And then on Team SmackDown, we've got Roman Reigns, King Corbin, the big guy, Braun Strowman, Mustafa Ali, and Shorty G.
Oh, God.
Chad Gable.
Thank you, Cindy.
And this match was okay. I was a little bit thrown when Kevin Owens got eliminated by Tommaso Ciampa. I was really hoping that there would be something come off of the fact that he came and helped NXT last night, but no, really nothing. Nothing. We got the backstage segment where Rollins confronted him about it, and he said, Raw is the brand that needs me desperately right now. I'm not NXT. I was just getting back at the Undisputed Era last night. And other than that, nothing really comes of it. So
I was kind of disappointed, yeah.
I'm glad there was a spot where NXT didn't get all of the wins, because then it just seems a little contrived. In this case, how do you bet against Roman Reigns? To quote Aaron Rift, how do you bet against Roman Reigns? The smart bet is to say that SmackDown wins and Roman Reigns was the sole survivor, and I got 2 points off of that sumbitch because that's what made sense. I changed my shit after the fact, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to bet against Roman Reigns. That's stupid, and that paid off because that's exactly what happened. But next to last was Keith Lee, and after Roman Reigns pinned Keith Lee and he got up, he fist bumped him, and that's not the sexual move. It was just, So anyway, This was the match where NXT didn't come out on top and still looked good at the end because you got the rub off of Roman Reigns. And that's what she said. Let's start with Owen. What do you think about this match?
I really enjoyed it. So many things in this match I really enjoyed. I enjoyed the Matt Widow and Shorty G tie up that they had going on. Even though this is the first time I've really seen him dressed like that, so it was so hurting me. But I enjoyed Matt Widow getting a pinfall victory over Randy Orton, and he pulled out the most devastating move in all of professional wrestling: fluke roll up, never fails. And I enjoyed Randy Orton getting a win off Damian Priest. I guess I really didn't enjoy the way Braun Strowman got eliminated because it was really weird how it happened. Because the referee decided to count countouts, but throughout the whole matches he didn't count any countouts unless it was Braun Strowman. So that was weird. I actually liked Drew McIntyre.
I think he started the count because for the first time all three guys were on the outside, so he started counting for all three. But then two of the three got back in the ring after doing moves on Strowman that kept him from reaching the 10 count, and so he got eliminated. But again, there is disqualification, there is count out, so I guess it's at the referee's discretion as to when is a good time to start counting.
It wasn't like Braun Strowman was going to be pinning this match either. Vince McMahon's still going to put him over as strongly as he is, especially now he might be tagging with Tyson Fury.
Oh, gosh.
What did you think about this match, Noah?
Oh, I wasn't done yet. Yeah, so I really was disappointed that they didn't do anything with the Kevin Owens bid. I kind of like how, like I said, how the NXT were presented as the faces with the whole Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns working together. Really enjoyed that. And Keith Lee being the last guy out made sense because I read a report on NoDQ.com that, Keith Lee and Matt Widow are two guys Vince McMahon are really high on, which is a bit of a surprise with the Matt Widow case. And like I said, I like that NXT still looked weak strong in defeat. That was a big botch. And I really enjoyed that. NXT was still made. Keith Lee was made. And yeah, Roman Reigns winning, I guess, is okay. Roman Reigns and Ciampa getting the win off Rollins too. That was cool. And one thing I want to say, this is just maybe a little bit of a nitpick, but I really hate SmackDown's theme. Maybe because I don't really like AC/DC all that much, so that could be a reason. But I really hate SmackDown's theme song, and I had to listen to it twice on this show.
Well, we talked about before. I'm pretty sure they picked that theme for SmackDown because the theme song that would have made the most sense for AEW Dynamite would have been AC/DC's TNT. Because you have the words Dynamite and TNT in the song. And they just wanted to be the first to get a theme song from AC/DC so that it would fuck with AEW. That's my thoughts anyway.
Support, no DQ.
All right, now on to Noah. What did you think about this match?
First off, AC/DC's okay, but again, Vince had relation of Pettyville won. I can definitely see your point on that. But as far as men's traditional Survivor Series elimination matches, and the first one being 5-on-5-on-5, I thought it went pretty well. First off, I knew firsthand there was going to be bad blood this entire time on Team SmackDown between Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns. The two have not been able to get on the same page for even a second with each other in the name of the Blue brand. The only one that can go figure. Then you got Seth Rollins coming out, being booed out the building, loved it, and you had Team Raw. There was one nice spot, though, where Kevin Owens was going to pick, okay, who do I slam? Do I slam the NXT guy, or do I slam the SmackDown guy? He prospects the SmackDown guy and eliminates him.
It wasn't a slam, it was a splash off the top rope.
Yeah, you know what I meant. Anyway, Keith Shorty G had a nice exchange. He eliminates Randy Orton, though, but Randy gives the receipt. RKO's him. Baron Corbin, he goes in. He claims, I did this. I'm the best. You have the huge spots with Braun Strowman and Walter. I freaking loved that. You had the captain towards the end at one point. It was 1-1-2 in favor of NXT. Ciampa eliminating Seth. I felt that was justice. And then you had to come down to, when in doubt, go with Roman. Told you. Roman and Keith Lee, which was very surprising to me. But boy, that one fall you thought that was 3 and it wasn't. I was like, no way. But
Yeah, because the
it
ref
wasn't
counted
enough
the 3,
because-
but the shoulder came up before the 3 count.
Yeah, on the replay, but Corey Graves kept denying it. You saw it. And then basically that spear bomb, like, oh my gosh, NXT did it! And damn it. But again, I am also glad from logic standpoint, Roman won. Spear, 1, 2, 3, pins Keith Lee. Fist bump and respect. Keith Lee looked very strong, but I fear what might happen under Vince McMahon's thumb. Look what happened to Samoa Joe. But overall, I enjoyed this match for what it brought and the stories that it told, at least for the SmackDown side.
Now, I saved the rant for last. I know Cindy is
That's
about to
fine.
go off about Walter being the first guy eliminated from this match. So I'm going to
Yes.
turn it over to you, Cindy.
Let me go ahead and take a long sip while I play this reaction to what I found out during the 5-on-5 match.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following is not suitable for children.
You have been warned. You have been warned. Rant in 3, 2, 1.
Okay, now, first of all, the Survivor Series match, holy crap, that was amazing. But the introduction of this match, now, everybody is very high on Walter. I found out Walter is now part of the 5-on-5 Survivor Series Survivor Series tradition match, which I was happy about that. I won the bet with good brother Chris. I told him Walter will be in that Survivor Series match, and yeah, I get to have free taco. But when Walter got eliminated by Drew McIntyre into Surprise, that really completely dropped the ball big time on Walter. Honestly, I'd rather have Damian Priest get eliminated first than Walter because, face it, nobody knows who Damian Priest is except for some that follow NXT, the Indies, or notably Ring of Honor as Punishment Martinez. But Walter, of all people, your current WWE UK champ, getting the first pin, that really kills it big time too. I know good brother Chris is going to be like, see, I told you why Walter should not be in this match. I'm going to be hearing this till the day, but hey, I'm not regretting that, Walter is in that match particular. Everybody know who he is. Very well known prior to coming to WWE itself. I was pretty surprised, and it definitely killed the beginning of the match altogether. But actually, the only thing kind of makes me feel better, for a good 5 minutes, is when Chadwick Gable got eliminated by Kevin Owens, which I'm okay with that. And then that's when everything started to pick things up from there too. The surprising moment, of course, Tommaso Ciampa eliminating Kevin Owens out of surprise after what Kevin Owens did to help Team Ciampa winning the War Games match last night. Whatever. I'm happy. I was surprised that Matt Riddle did eliminate Randy Orton, and it's like a blessing in disguise. So I was like, wow. I understand that Vince is very high on him, whatnot, but then, of course, King Corbin eliminating Matt Riddle, that's fine. The whole Braun Strowman, getting counted out is just pointless. What the fuck, but hey, I understand why. Ricochet, getting eliminated by King Corbin, nothing special, but I like his ring gear. A tribute to Batman Beyond, which is one of my favorite Batman series growing up.
Agreed.
I wish they would bring the remake of it, but it's all good. Mustafa Ali getting eliminated, Seth Rollins, nothing new. He is getting the hometown pop for it. Drew McIntyre eliminated by Roman Reigns. It was pretty decent. King Corbin being eliminated by Tommaso Ciampa. I freaking love it. And then, of course, Ciampa getting eliminated by Seth Rollins. Okay, I was like, oh, crap. And it went down to Seth Rollins, Keith Lee, and Roman Reigns. I was pretty surprised that Keith Lee was the sole survivor for NXT, just itself, trying to face not one but two notable main roster stars alike. And he did a great job, and especially the fact that Keith Lee eliminated Seth Rollins. It's wow. I did not expect that to happen at all. Overall, Roman did eliminate Keith Lee, and of course, it's great that SmackDown finally won the 5-on-5 Men's Survivor Series match. I'm very happy about that. I'm glad that, NXT did lost. Bullshit beginning, but hey, at least towards the end there's a bit of a positive side. Keith Lee, another unsung hero to it. I'm very proud that he did pull all of this together for it. But hey, nobody can beat Roman. I mean, Roman Reigns is the top guy in WWE. And when in doubt for future predictions, always pick Roman Reigns. No doubt about it. There's nobody can beat him.
Yeah, he's so fucking confident too. My favorite part about this match was the story, the little mini story where King Corbin got pissed at Roman for tagging himself in and like confronts him and like pushes him and shit. And so Roman ends up hitting him with the Superman punch and the spear and allowing him to get pinned. I think it was Tommaso Ciampa got the pinfall on him. And it's just, it's that story that somebody mentioned earlier where NXT came into this and no matter what the feuds that were going on in between the teams, they were together. They were a team. And you saw in the women's 5-on-5-on-5 that SmackDown definitely wasn't a team because you saw the fallout between Charlotte Flair and Asuka. And in this one, you saw the fallout between Corbin and Roman.
Yeah.
So that was great. Even though Roman got the win, it's fine. We all knew that was going to happen.
All right. Let me ask you this, gentlemen. Do you see Keith Lee getting a future NXT title opportunity now that he did showcase what happened at Survivor Series?
I think he's going to get called up before he gets an opportunity at the title.
And here's the thing. In NXT, nothing is given. Everything is earned. So clearly he's going to get opportunities closer to it and definitely more TV time because he is a star. But as far as an opportunity, no, he's going to have to earn it. And I bet you it's going to be a tag opportunity with his partner, Dominic Dijagana. Because those two I can see taking on Red Dragon and taking those titles.
Agree. I mean, they set their differences aside on War Games, and they did perfectly great job, though. I know, Stefan, you were having like a bit of an issue about like, you know, Shawn Michaels' selection for which NXT star is going to be representing on the 5-on-5 men Survivor Series match for NXT.
I think he picked some losers, and I hate to say that about Matt Riddle, but Matt Riddle lost last night at War Games. He's a loser. Fucking Damian Priest lost last night at War Games. He's a loser. And maybe the reason Dominik Dijakovic was not in this match is because he's injured coming off of the War Games match, maybe? Maybe?
Well, possibly.
Maybe these were the least 5 injured people.
Back torn Achilles heel surgery, so I'm sure that War Games did a number on that.
So who knows?
The thing is about that, too, the thing is, I don't think he was going to be able to pick Finn Balor because with the story they were telling, Finn Balor really isn't for NXT. I kind of like that they kind of left Finn Balor out of this. That was a good call.
Finn Balor's just neutral right now. He's the prince. And another thing, if anything else can happen out of this match, send fucking Drew McIntyre to NXT UK.
Honestly, I would be all for that because Drew McIntyre right now is the only credible person that can take the title from Walter. No one in NXT UK right now can take the title from Walter.
And he's Scottish, so he can easily join Gallus.
Yeah. It's going to be like Dragunov. Well, that's a story for another day.
Didn't at one point during the match someone told Drew McIntyre, go back to NXT? Because I kind of paid close attention to it during the match.
I'm not fully sure, but I know at one point Seth Rollins is like, I built NXT, I'm going to tear it down, and boom, Keith Lee took him out.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're moving on to the WWE Championship match because we're going to keep this video under an hour and 30 minutes if it kills me. So we're going to make these next two fairly quick. We've got Rey Mysterio versus Brock Lesnar, and this match, somebody timed it. It was less than 7 minutes.
I did. It was
I'm looking at Wikipedia right now.
All right, Noah, why don't you go first?
Brock Lesnar came in, was destroying Mysterio. Dominic about to throw in the towel. They both blow him. Father-son tandem offense, including a double pinfall combination. Brock Lesnar, a suplex on Dominic later in an F5. Brock Lesnar wins. Whoop-de-doo.
Cindy?
Match, 7 minutes, according to Wikipedia. But overall, good match. Only thing I would say, Dominic, Rey Mysterio's son, future wrestling star. He did a 619. He did a frog splash. Pretty good. But we all know Brock Lesnar retained. That's all I can say, y'all.
Owen?
I thought it was good stuff. I thought it did the job it needed to do. I liked how Rey Mysterio had his hope spots and Brock still retained. Now the question I have is I actually picked Rey to win. because I read online he has an opt-out to leave before his contract expires, and I was thinking maybe they want to give him the title to keep him happy. Does Rey Mysterio now leave to go to All Elite Wrestling?
I doubt it. I doubt it. Rey Mysterio is so close to the end of his career, he's going to end it in WWE probably.
I completely agree. I think that's his plan all along. And, I mean, hey, look at it this way. Brock Lesnar, he goes to longer matches with little people.
Well,
Yeah.
they did in 7 minutes with this match everything you expected out of this match. Brock Lesnar dominated in the beginning. He was beating up on Rey to the point to where he teased him by kicking the pipe over to Rey and saying, "Grab the pipe, hit me now." Because Rey held on to that pipe for the beginning of this match, just death grip on that pipe. But it didn't matter. Brock Lesnar was still slamming him around. Then, Dominic comes out looking like he's going to throw in the towel, and then we get an uppercut to the nuts by Rey, and then another uppercut to the nuts by Dominic, and then a tandem 619. They both hit a 619 on Brock Lesnar, and then dueling frog splashes, one after the other, and then a double pin, and still Brock Lesnar kicks out, catches Dominic going up for another frog splash, hits him with the German, catches Rey Mysterio coming off the top rope with whatever, I don't know, because Brock Lesnar is standing at this point. Anyway, catches him up in the F5, 1, 2, 3. This was exactly what this... I was betting on Rey, too, for some stupid reason. But this match did everything it was going to do.
What's up with Rey Mysterio's ring gear? What's his obsession with the whole clown ring gear? Someone pointed out on Twitter is that ring gear he has kind of reminds of his match against JBL at WrestleMania 25 for the Intercontinental title.
I think it's real obvious what he was going for. He looked like a fucking clown. So we're on to the main event. Go ahead, Owen.
I think he was going for the Joker, because that movie just came out this year.
If you ask Virtue, he was Dork the Clown. But
I don't think it was close enough. I think it was closer to Bozo the Clown from Saturday mornings.
Right.
Anyway, let's move on to the main event. It is champion versus champion versus champion. All the women, all the best women. Bayla versus Shayna Baszler versus Becky Lynch. And this was a great triple threat. I don't know if it was the best match on the show, but it was fine for the main event, I think. Straight up match, no interference. They didn't really take advantage of the fact that it was no disqualification, other than you did see, who was it, Becky Lynch get thrown across the Spanish announce table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which takes her out for
But
a
they
little
do
bit,
that
but
all the
not
time in
completely.
regular matches anyways.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Shayna Baszler wins.
Yep.
Yeah. Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah.
She got Bayley to fucking tap out.
Yeah.
Good.
Exactly.
And this puts NXT up, what was it, 4-2-1?
Yeah.
I think it
NXT
was
with damn near a clean sweep on the pay-per-view.
I think it was 4-3-1 because I think SmackDown won 3.
No, it was 4-2-1.
No. 4-2-1.
Because
It's
that's-
one of those 7 matches for brand supremacy. NXT ends that with 4. We are NXT. The black and gold will always rule forever.
Hey, we are
Oh, yeah.
NXTeam.
Yep.
So let's finish this off by reviewing the main event. I'm going to start with Owen.
I thought the match was great. I think the crowd was dead because they had been sitting there for a few hours. And I don't know if I would have main evented this. I think the only reason they did is because, they needed NXT to finish it out with a win. But, it was definitely an interesting choice to main event this, but I really enjoyed it. I don't talk about it a lot because I haven't been watching a lot, but I really do not like Bayley as like this generic heel. It's just not what I wanted her heel to be at all. Well, that's a story for another day. Really enjoyed this though. I thought all three women looked really strong. Shayna Baszler wins, which I was happy about. And I actually kind of like that it seems like, and I repeat, seems like that WWE is actually having some long-term booking. I know it's like only a few months, but I'll take it. Because it looks like maybe they're setting the seeds for Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler, maybe at WrestleMania after how they ended this show with Becky laying her out with the leg drop to the table.
Yeah,
At
but
least I
first
hope
Rhea
so,
Ripley
anyway.
needs to take the NXT championship away from Baszler.
Yeah, I don't want them doing the stuff they did where like Asuka gave up the title. Like Shayna Baszler has to lose the title at this point now. But I really enjoyed this. I really wish, though, we could have had like a moment where NXT all stood tall at the end and all the superstars could have said like "We owe NXT" or something. That would have been awesome. But I love the fact that NXT won, and it makes sense. The biggest reason why it makes sense is because NXT's the show that's going up against All Elite Wrestling on Wednesday nights. You need to make people want to tune in not to All Elite Wrestling. That'd be a bad thing. To NXT every week because they need the ratings. They're the show going up against All Elite Wrestling every week. They need to be the ones to make it look strong. They need to be the ones that say, hey, check us out. And that makes sense. Now, the question is, are they going to have to start to change NXT a little bit because NXT kind of can't go back to normal since, this week's show was so different that it beat All Elite Wrestling. And if it goes back to normal, I have a feeling the ratings will drop a bit. But that's a topic for another day. Really enjoyed the main event, though. I thought it was great.
Noah?
This whole period was surrounded, like I said, centered, built, showcased by the women. This match deserved to be the main event, but again, it was due to length and overall just crowd appeal at this point with all the other crap they saw throughout the show, because there was some crappy spots we pointed out. But for this match, it was worth everything I expected it to be. Why the hell, first off, Bayley came out as a cosplayer from a Katy Perry music video, or a post-play Cleopatra, or a cosplay Santino Marella is beyond me.
You're not old enough. You're not old enough. She was the unnamed princess from the Neverending Story.
Okay, well, that's another song for another day. Good movie. Anyway.
She had the little chain tiara. Anyway, yeah.
Shayna Baszler coming out with the Horsewomen to entrance before coming out through Gorilla, I thought was a very interesting teaser, but she did it all by herself. And then, of course, Becky gets the top entrance, and I feel like she's the man. She's the most over woman in the company. Bayley's the most irrelevant. I thought she was going to go over here. I was wrong. But I was not wrong in who I knew was going to take the fall or submit, because this generic heel turn's been BS, and she's a cowardly heel that can't back up what she does. So she's going to eat the fall. What happened? She tapped out. There's your credible SmackDown champion. Wow. Becky thrown over the table. Shayna celebrating in her own way. But Becky gets the last word and stands tall. Now, here's the funny thing. On Twitter, what's the number one thing trending right now? Ronda Rousey. There are people chanting, asking, wondering, proposing. Is this the night Ronda Rousey returns? We finally set Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch one-on-one. And nope, not yet. I still think that's in the books, like Owen says, but it sounds like right now they're going to go towards Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler. And Owen, it would not surprise me if that match is made for Royal Rumble, and then you build towards Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. But as far as this main event goes, I felt it was a very good match, and I'm glad NXT won, and they ended the night with NXT winning the night completely. Because either way, NXT already won. They were going to end in a tie, or they're going to win the night. Here, they won the night. Good match. Congratulations to Shayna Baszler and NXT.
Yeah, they had a 66 2/3 chance of winning the night going into this match, because if Raw won, then it would have been 3-2, and they still would have won.
Yeah.
So, but they got the solid win, and Shayna Baszler. My thing though is they were really passive about NXT getting the win. Like, it was just Shayna Baszler celebrating, but then Becky Lynch took her out and then started celebrating and got her music playing. So we go off the show looking for some reason like Becky Lynch and Raw are the big winners here, and they don't say anything. Just I think Corey Graves is like, and congratulations to NXT, and then that was it.
Yep.
It's a little passive.
Tall.
I didn't like it so much.
Raw. Again, the only brand that was really about the brand was NXT.
Yep.
Becky was about herself, dude.
What'd you think about the main event, Cindy?
Well, I know this is going to be a very unpopular opinion. I feel this main event is a huge letdown, in my personal opinion. At first, I was coming into whole expectation that Shayna, Becky, and Bayley will be delivering, if this is going to be an outstanding main event. I believe this is the first time in quite a while, or ever, that we have a women's main event match on Survivor Series to close the show. Man, I was wrong. I mean, the crowd did not care about this match. It felt it's kind of a bit flat at best. And it's honestly, that match should not be in a main event. It should be replaced that and have the 5-on-5 men's Survivor Series match to close the show like it's supposed to do like years ago. But with that being said, I mean, kudos to all three women. They did an incredible job. Mostly Shayna, though. She did defeat Becky and Bayley and bring the home for NXT. I'm very happy about that. But the after the match was the one that actually saved it, was when Becky brutally attacking Shayna, especially when she put Shayna through the table. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but that should have been the spot where Ronda Rousey comes out to save Shayna Baszler.
I was waiting
all we know is like now it's gonna be between Becky and Shayna. It's like, what's going to happen? Are we gonna see them again? Maybe like Royal Rumble, maybe perhaps. I was a little bit hoping we'll see Ronda Rousey make her return, but I was like, no Ronda. But hey, we may get to see her maybe Royal Rumble, because that's when it's gonna restart the whole like WWE build up for 2020, especially what's going to come for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
With that being said, I'm happy NXT won. Yay. And that main event, a big letdown.
I feel like the Universal Championship or the WWE Championship match should have ended the show here, because I felt like the women would have gotten better respect. Because I like this match still more than the Fiend versus Daniel Bryan and Brock Lesnar versus Rey Mysterio.
I disagree with both of you. I think it should have been the women's 5-on-5-on-5 match. I think as far as inter-match story, it had the best story. And it had sort of a cool ending where they feigned the injuries so that they could come back and make sure that they got the victory. I think that was a better ending than what we got for the entire show out of the women's triple threat match.
Thank you, Triple H.
So
Thank you, Triple
I understand why you didn't end it with the men's 5-on-5-on-5, because that would have been SmackDown getting the final win, which would have kind of overshadowed the fact that NXT got all the other wins, and it would have been like, well, SmackDown kept NXT from getting the sweep. So you want to end with an NXT victory, should have been the women's 5-on-5-on-5. Those are my thoughts.
Yeah, if you're going to add on brand supremacy, I agree. But think about this. Previous Survivor Series, they didn't end on brand supremacy. Last year they ended with, well, I guess they did end on brand supremacy.
Yeah, they did.
It's the traditional one. So, yeah, I guess you're right.
Well, that brings us to the end of Survivor Series. And I want to go real quick.
Thank Lord.
Real quick, no speeches, no paragraphs, not even a sentence. Let's just rate the pay-per-view. I want to start with Noah. Letter grade.
7 out of 10.
So a B, B plus,
B.
B
Plus. B.
Okay, Cindy.
On Twitter, I said it, solid B.
Solid B. Owen.
Better than last year.
Because NXT won, A minus.
Yeah, I think this was possibly the best WWE pay-per-view of the year so far. And I know we only have like one, maybe two left. I think just one. The only thing that kept this from being like a perfect kind of pay-per-view was that big moment. And it should have been Ronda Rousey coming out there at the end to end the show. I think that would have made it an A plus for me, but I'm going to go with an A. I think this was a really great show from beginning to end. There were slow points. There were matches that weren't the best, but not every match on the show can be fucking outstanding. You know, some of the matches just have to be regular. And I'm fine with that. I'm going to give it an A.
Okay.
So,
Fair enough.
thank you, everybody, for joining me.
I also like how NXT did win, because you know they're going to do something with it. Where if Raw and SmackDown won, they would just be forgotten about. At least I expect NXT to actually do something that they beat the main roster.
Yeah,
I feel like Raw and SmackDown are going to forget this night even happened.
probably.
NXT won't.
So thank you all for joining me. Where can we find you on social media, Owen?
You can subscribe to my 3 YouTube channels, Wrestling Fortune 44, CM Brothers, and On the Talkinator. For all my various YouTube things. Check out Wrestling Fortune 44 mainly for the wrestling rundown stuff, where I talk about all of basically the same stuff. Enjoy. That's all my stuff.
Cindy?
All right, so I'm going to plug mine. I'm also going to be plugging Colin's as well. So follow me, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram, simply_C_OK. For Colin, follow him on Twitter at NoDQColinAndrew, and on Instagram at Colin26Andrews. And he has a YouTube channel under Colin, Andrew as well.
It's the Cleaver, Colin, Andrew. Spaces between all the words. Noah, hit us with the main event.
As you wish, Wizard. First off, thank you everybody who has tuned into this video, and Owen, Cindy, Stefan, it was an extreme pleasure. Before I say my plus, let me say this. Ladies and gentlemen, worldwide wrestling fans, this was the end of this year's inaugural Team NXTeam Predictions League, and I reign victorious with 34 points. However, James the Archangel Hebert will go in as NXT US champion, and Good Brother Chris and Colin Andrew will go in as co-NXT UK champs. I'll see you all at NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool 2. But with that being said, if you want to know more about me, know this. I'm just a simple champion and man. And if you haven't figured it out by now, I am a lifelong fan of wrestling and NXT. So if you want to follow me and talk anything wrestling, the Fire Wrestling, WWE, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Independent Wrestling, Sport Pro Wrestling, folks, and Impact Wrestling, look me up on Twitter, NoDQ.com/Noah takes to my Twitter page, or at NFoster1916, or follow my civil YouTube channel at YouTube.com/Noah/Foster210. I recently broke 100 subscribers. Thank y'all so much. It's been a blast. Other content coming up includes predictions on our final battle, maybe. NJPW World Tag League finale, and also NWA Into the Fire as part of our Team IndieQ Predictions League, where I hope to win the gold there as well. And also, if you haven't figured it out, support NoDQ. There's a reason I'm in YouTube. For every dead NoDQ family, especially Stefan and Jared, who really got me into the YouTube verse, per se. So go buy a shirt, go buy some merch, go buy something. Just do it. NoDQ.com/merch takes you to the store. Follow NoDQ on all your social media platforms. Your opinions matter. There's a comment section and everything on the official website. Polls, comments, memes, gifts, reviews, recaps, sexy female pics. You name it, it's there. Primarily WWE, with a little bit of independent wrestling and AEW as well. Stay tuned for more news on AEW, WWE, and we'll kick off 2020, of course, with Team IndieQ kicking off their league with New Japan Pro Wrestling's Wrestle Kingdom 14. I cannot freaking wait for that show. And as always, I like to close. Support your wrestling outlets for big and small. Let's keep growing this incredible, diverse, unique, elite wrestling community together that has no BS, unscripted, uncensored, keep it to you straight, deal with it, wrestling community together. Simple as that. What a year it's been.
Thank you, Noah. You can follow me as well. You can find me on Twitter. Go to nodq.com/Stefan. That's STEFAN. Or if you just want to look me up on Twitter, it's at Stefan R. Osborne, OSBORNE. Again, Stefan R. Osborne. As always, the R stands for restricted. You can also find my partner that is usually with us, but not tonight, Jerry the General Slaughter at, it's either gentleman_JSJ or general_JSJ. He said he changed it back to general, but last time I looked it up, it was still gentleman. One or the other. You can find us on Facebook. Go to his group, Armbar, all caps, ARMBAR, exclamation point.
Thank you,
Sweet.
Cindy.
There we go. In tribute to Colin Andrew, who doesn't like to sing, but he will draw us a giant fucking exclamation point. So find us there. Don't add us. We won't add you. You can also find me now on Instagram and follow a profile picture. That's all I've got. I don't clog your news feed, so follow me, won't you? At osborne.stefan. You can find me on Patreon now at Stefan R. Osborne if you are in a position to help us with the channel. Otherwise, if you just have a few seconds, if you like our video, click the like button. Or if you like all of our videos, do us a favor and click the subscribe button, and then click the share button in between there, and share us with your friends. If they like to watch wrestling, maybe they'll like to watch us bullshit about wrestling. And seriously, we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so that it's easier to go live. I'm trying to figure this thing out, folks. But also, it'd be nice to be monetized. That would be cool. So if you help us by sharing, we appreciate it. And once we get to 1,000, we're actually giving away a board game, so that's cool as well. Clue, 1984 edition. Sweet. Anyway, thank you for joining us. For the Cleaver Colin Andrew, who is no longer with us, I don't know what happened. For the Simple Man Noah Foster. For the Duchess, 1/3 of the ladies of No DQ, Cindy G. And for the Birdman of Boston, we've got Owen Finch here. I am the Wizard of No DQ, Stefan Osborne. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.